Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball Z figure news video. We have some very exciting stuff to cover in this week's news video. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Oh, let's just get into it here, ladies and gentlemen. So on our first stop, as per usual, at dbzfigures.com, we actually don't have too much to take a look at on this site. Funny enough, it is literally these four things, because this was in the last video. This one we are going to save for a little bit later, because we're going to get some bigger images of those before we get to that. But before we get to that, let's take a look at what we have for the Dragon Ball Weekly news for the 2 weeks that were covered here. This week's Dragon Ball news featured one set of figures pictured below. It's from the 14th installment of Versus Dragon Ball Gashapon series. Revisits the legendary scenes from classic Dragon Ball movies. Obviously, this is the Family Kamehameha and the Broly figure. We saw these guys last week, and unfortunately, they did not end up faring so well. Also of note is the Dragon Ball card game expansion set 17/18 will release in June, and Dragon Ball Heroes Big Big Mission 8 with special guest Ryu, who's in charge of the series. He does look like Ryu from Street Fighter the way he's dressed. Oh, that guy! I remember him from the presentation. That's it for this week. Hopefully, new figures will be announced next week. So this was also something else before we get to the other Dragon Ball Weekly news that I thought that would be good to mention. Funny enough, this is actually a site that I have been using for a while now. This, even though he is sold out on this website, this is just kind of going to be a little piece of advice for you is what we're going to use this section for. So obviously, as you can see here, E-Night Media did have the Super Saiyan 4 Goku SH Figure Arts figure up for pre-order when, well, you know, kind of a little bit after all of the shenanigans were happening where it was first dropping on all of these different websites. I actually did sneak in a pre-order, excuse me, on there, and I may have gotten a couple of them, which may or may not be for a giveaway when that may or may not comes out. But besides the point, with this guy, I will tell you, do not lose hope if you were not able to pre-order a copy of this guy. And the only reason why I say that is because the nice thing about it is that it is going to be a figure that is basically a normal release. If you're unfamiliar with SH Figure Arts, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this for people who aren't like in the know of the technical terms of this. Basically, it's not a premium Bandai figure, which means it's not going to be as rare. There we go. That's what I meant to say there. So, since this is just a standard release, after this guy does get released, he should still be a little bit, like, not as rare as those Premium Bandai figures. Premium Bandai means it only comes from the Premium Bandai website. A couple of examples of those being, like, Bulma, Final Form Cooler, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, stuff like that. Those guys you can only get at Premium Bandai, and then other sites that buy them from Premium Bandai and then resell them. So since this guy is a normal release, he should be a little bit more widely available when he actually comes out. So don't be too scared if you can't get a pre-order in until then. And like I said, I'm also going to have a, may or may not have a giveaway for you when that eventually happens. Let's take a look now at the final Dragon Ball Weekly news. This week started with a recap of news, including Dragon Ball Super Heroes manga, Dragon Ball SD, Super Dragon Ball Heroes Big Bang Mission, and during the second week of June, Chibi Masters released a new series of miniature figures featuring 5 characters from the Dragon Ball Super movie. Then on June 11th, the third DLC for Kakarot released featuring the Future Trunks saga. I believe that those ones, the Chibi Masters, because those are those little mini figures from the Broly movie, right? It's what, Gogeta, Broly, Frieza, Goku, and Vegeta, I think. I'm pretty sure that those are re-releases. I guess we can just kind of scroll through the actual episode here. This website is so cool, by the way. I love the way that they revamped this. I know we talked about this in a previous video, but let me just make sure I'm not getting that information incorrect on the Chibi Masters thing. The only thing that stinks, yes, it is these guys, is you can't scroll through and like see the little preview. So this is just a re-release, which actually doesn't surprise me because this set was a lot more popular than I think that they probably thought it would be. I think it's just something that's a little bit more unique, and honestly, I still want to buy all of these. I did actually have the opportunity to, but I just didn't want to spend the money at the time, so I don't know. I might try and find these at some point. I do honestly probably mostly want like Gogeta and Broly, but honestly Vegeta the most just because he's so adorable. He looks angry that he's in this Chibified form. I think that's hilarious. But anyway, nothing new for Chibi Masters. It is literally just a re-release of the same set. I do hope that they do more Dragon Ball stuff, though. They have been going through different anime with this set. I'm pretty sure that they've done Naruto and One Piece on that. Don't quote me on that, though, because obviously that's not my expertise. My expertise is Dragon Ball figures. But let's go ahead and move on to our boy Baggy. Again, we will come back to that in a little bit when we scroll past it with our boy Baggy. So, before we actually get to the figures, because they're literally right after this section, I did want to use a little time slot here, I guess, just to talk about this real quick. This is when we were still trying to figure out what the Gohan figure was going to be, what form for the Grandista. And I mean, I can't really like not spoil it because it's in the thumbnail, but I'm going to pretend like it's not in the thumbnail. Basically, on this original ad from the Grandista Gohan, fantastic figure by the way, it was literally just labeled as Son Gohan, so there isn't any like indication as to forms when it comes to these Grandista figures. I'm also talking about the Japanese label at the bottom, not the English. Japanese label usually denotes the forms but indicates 2018 or 2018. Wow, my brain is not working. 2018, and this year's Grandista is just Son Gohan, which implies swappable heads. And then as you can see here, just checked all the Grandista labels, haven't specified the form, just the character name, with the exception of UI Goku. So basically, Gohan can still be anything. Obviously, we have the original Goku, the original Vegeta with the Majin Vegeta head, and then we have the boy Gotenks as well as MUI Goku. Again, one of my favorite figures of all time. Alright, so we actually did have some good news. We have taken a look at these so many times, but yes, this was the re-release for Chibi Masters. We also had the June Wafer Candy Figures HQ packaging shots. Really like the art on these. Obviously, it's just taken from the stickers, but still, looks really awesome. I do want to get this Kid Goku. I don't really care about the rest of the figures in this set, if I'm being honest. Maybe Blue Evo, but I would love to get the Dragon and or Kid Goku. Alright, so I am pretty excited. So this was another thing. Funny enough, I actually commented on this. Very excited. Basically, this is going to be coming up for Ichiban Kuji shenanigans. As you can see, there's going to be another Super Dragon Ball Heroes Ichiban Kuji set. So I am very excited for that, obviously, because I am the resident Dragon Ball Heroes fanboy. So I'm really excited for whenever that eventually comes out. Hopefully they pick some good characters. And then as you can see here, we have the Omnibus 3 versus Omnibus. And Omnibus has always brought us some great stuff, so I'm hoping that Omnibus will bless us this time around as well. Last time, or well, the first Omnibus was the one that had the Grade 8 Vegeta, the big battle damage statue, the Solfix one. So, and then with this, I mean, I know some people don't really like heroes, and I can understand that, but hopefully we end up getting some more unique characters, and it's not just another excuse for them to give us another Gogeta Blue. I'm looking at you, last Kuji set. Please give us Omen Grand Prix Goku. As long as that's in there, I will be fine. Alright, so Blind Box, I know, we'll get to that. Don't worry. Blind Box Broly being 2 per store for the Kuji more than likely means one of each of C Broly per lot. US folks, find out your fate. So another interesting thing about this too, actually, I guess what I can do is open this in a new tab and then get it to you that way. About this particular set, because obviously we've talked about this set before when it comes to this Ichiban Kuji set. Of course, the Broly is probably the highlight of all of this. Interestingly enough, on the Big Bad Toy Store, which if you are unfamiliar with Big Bad, they basically are one of the, I guess, I don't want to say premier, but like probably one of the best places to get Dragon Ball figures, certainly one of the most reputable. And the interesting thing about it is that they actually have both versions of Broly listed as separate figures here, which I think is really interesting, all things considered. By the way, this is also the place that you could pre-order this guy if you are interested in that. I already put my pre-order in for him as well. The rest of the figures are on there too. But I think it's interesting that Big Bad has these as two different listings when I don't know how they're going to do that, especially if it is a blind box sort of deal like this everything has been implying, which is really weird. I don't know. Maybe Baggy is missing something. Maybe I'm missing something here, but let me know in the comments section below. I'll also DM Baggy about this because I don't know if he knows about it and give you another update in the next figure news video. Baggy does also note here that apparently because the LO is a different color version of Full Power Broly, knew there wasn't going to be 2 per lot. However, giving the extra slot to Gogeta, aka Mr. Commercialized, yeah, makes no sense, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what the last one coloring of this guy is. I always am really mad about the last ones that are just a different color because they always tend to look a little bit better. And obviously, they never import those to the States. So hopefully it's not that cool. Anyway, this was the most exciting thing that happened this week. If I had to throw my hat in the ring in terms of the opinions. Of course, it turns out that the Grandista Gohan ended up being a Ultimate Gohan figure, which is super, super exciting. I have actually talked about that there are like 2 good Ultimate Gohan figures on the planet, one of which I own, the other one that's pretty old. I think it was Battle of Gods era or pre-Battle of Gods era, where he's kicking. But this is awesome to see. Obviously, Ultimate Gohan is a very beloved form. I'm so excited. I'm really excited that it ended up being this. It was either this or BoJack movie Gohan, and there was no in between. So I'm so excited that it ended up being this guy. As you can see, these are the figures for October. Obviously, that's a Japanese release date. Of course, Gohan himself. This was very, very exciting, actually. No, not you, Vegeta, even though you do look good. We'll get to you in a second. But Bye Guys Goku is actually a really cool pick for a figure. I kind of, like, never really thought of this moment as, like, something they would ever think about making a figure. But I like it a lot, and it looks kind of different in terms of the sculpt, but I think I'm here for it, bro. We will have some higher quality pictures of this guy in a little bit, I believe. But still a really cool choice for a figure, and interesting that there's more purple on the like bottom half of him almost, and then it's more blue. But yes, as you can see, the Clear Eyes 2 is this, almost said Frieza saga, Revival of F, Vegeta. And like, I can't even tell you why, bro, but this guy looks fire. Like, maybe it's just because Goku is more over-commercialized than Vegeta, but the Clear Eyes Goku didn't look bad, but for some reason, this figure almost like is speaking to me a little bit more. Like, this looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. I have already pre-ordered this guy, because I'm really excited about it. And I think this outfit as well just looks better on Vegeta than it does for Goku, but I guess that's just my opinion. Yes, I'm glad that it ended up being Ultimate Gohan. Very exciting. Yes, so definitely a nice choice. I'm glad that it wasn't a more generic Goku. We will get more HD pictures of that in a little bit here, but I'm very excited that it turned out that way. High quality pictures of the June Matchmakers, Trunks, and 18 different angles. I will tell you right now, we do have some IRL pictures of Trunks, and they didn't ruin them, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Alright, so this was about the LO. More angles of Ultimate Gohan. Obviously, since it's a Grandista figure, it is meant to be, you know, displayed from the front in the, like, static pose. The only thing that I can say about this figure is that it looks fantastic, but the only thing that I'm worried about is a little bit of standing issues. See, these Grandista figures are really weird with the way that they stand, because this one kind of reminds me with the arcing back of the Rose Grandista figure, the Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. That guy has a really big arc in his back, and it's a little bit hard for him to stand because of it, because of the balancing. The Grandista Vegeta, or at least I own the base form one, which is the Nero one, also kind of has a hard time standing, and I think that's also kind of because of the arc in his back. So hopefully Gohan doesn't have a hard time standing. I don't understand how they can't get that right, but then Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which I know I'll get that video out eventually. I've just had a bunch of figures come in before that I then has pushed that video back, but Super Saiyan 3 Grandista Goku, which I own, has no problem standing, and there's basically another human attached to the back of him with how much hair he has. So hopefully that doesn't end up being a problem, but it'll be fine either way, because like with Rose, I literally just attached him. I sticky tacked his foot to my shelf, so not the biggest deal. And obviously if they make the stand good, then it'll be fine, but I'm not that worried about it. The figure looks fantastic regardless. Grandista Ultimate Gohan, full-on front view, looks very, very cool. This person also models that it kind of looks like this illustration, which I guess wouldn't surprise me, but it's also kind of hard to say if that's like a confirmed thing, because of course the Grandista figures are all kind of formatted this way, where it's arms down, character looking to the side-ish, right? But it looks really good. Obviously, the sculpt is pretty basic, but still very detailed. I mean, that is kind of Ultimate Gohan. So the head sculpt is really important for it to be good, to stick out, because, of course, this body is kind of basically just like Grandista Goku, right? Again. It'll be interesting, actually, to see if that figure can head swap with this guy. I'll have to test that out. I didn't actually test that out with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, so maybe I'll make an amendment to that video. But regardless, very excited about that guy. Here are all the different angles for him. He looks really good from the back too, I gotta say. Like, I know that even though the figure isn't shaded as much from the back, as you can see, it is like mega bright orange back there, and there's a lot of shadows in the figure. It still looks good from the back, so I am very happy to see that. Very excited for this figure though. Cannot believe it. Here is the October history box Goku. Now, keep in mind, this is from the same line that brought us the Goku, where it was just like that random blue effect, and the figure ended up being pretty small. You would remember that if you're a consistent watcher of this series. But I'm hoping this guy might be a little bit bigger. Probably not going to be the case, unfortunately, because the history box line has kind of already established itself as a little bit smaller in scale. But I do like the base a lot. It is rare that we get a Bam Presto or Ichiban Kuji figure, for that matter. I mean, really more so Kuji, but it is rare that we get a figure with a base like this. I mean, they could have just kind of attached the smoke to the back of Goku. Heck, they could have not even included the smoke or the base and just done this pose, and I probably still would have bought it, because obviously it's an iconic pose. But I think the rock and smoke effects really sets this figure apart from other figures, and is another big reason why I think people will be buying it, to be honest. I am excited though. I do see a little bit of messy QC issues with the smoke. I mean, because it's smoke, I guess they can kind of get away with it, but where all the pieces are joined, it looks a little bit crusty. So let's hope that they fix that on the final version. His feet also look a little bit bent, because this looks like a little hump, like on the bottoms of the soles. I don't know. I do like the rock base though. I really, really like it. It'll be interesting to see this guy when he comes out. Oh, that's hollow on the back. Interesting. And it looks like that just plugs in. Very interesting. Well, I'm excited for this guy nonetheless. I've seen even a couple people on the Dokkan asset side of things, on the Twitter-wise, also really excited for this guy. I know this is a lot of people's favorite moment, so I guess unsurprising that people are excited for that figure. As you can see here, this is the Clear Eyes Vegeta. Funny enough, talking about this pose done better. You definitely need to tighten in the arms a little bit. So here's the thing, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, the Clear Eyes Goku was okay, and I like the figure. I don't think it's a bad figure. It just wasn't very appealing to me. But, like, something about this figure just strikes me. Like, maybe it's just because this outfit looks really good on Vegeta, but, like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. I really, really like the look of the hair. And I really, really like the look of the outfit overall. Now, something else that I didn't realize actually with this line, that I guess Goku will probably be the first figure to, I suppose, like, give us a look as to how this is going to look in the future in terms of the Clear Eyes line. This Vegeta also sort of implies it here, and we will see it again with a picture of Goku doing it later. But The rest of the figure is also semi-translucent besides the hair. We obviously knew that the hair was going to be that way from, I mean, just kind of looking at it and, you know, seeing some other pictures. But as you can see here, there is implication of lights being illuminated through Vegeta's armor. So I wonder what they're going to end up making this figure out of, because like his face looks like the normal figure material, but I don't know if it's going to be a soft vinyl or what they're going to do to be able to give it that effect. It'll be very interesting to see what ends up going with this guy, but I do like this figure a lot, and like I said, I have already pre-ordered it, which kind of stinks because I feel like then I need to get Goku to like complete the set, you know? I don't know, I've done that in the past with figures before, like the Chojin Giga. I got the Vegeta, I didn't get the Goku. I also got the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which that video is also coming soon, but I digress. This guy looks really good. I like this figure a lot. Definitely hope it turns out all right. Here are the high quality images for this guy. Again, I won't go through these too hard because again, we kind of already saw these, but again, mega high quality. Very, very excited for this guy as well. Yes, this is also very exciting that we're getting both of these. So it'll be cool to see them right next to each other as well. Here are some high quality images of this guy. We also have some different angles. I really love the fact that they took the time to put the actual detail into putting the back detail of Goku's gi being burnt off, or well, disintegrating, whatever you want to call it, ripped. I like that a lot, which it's so kind of ironic, I guess. This also looks really weird from this angle because obviously, again, it's hollow and it doesn't like go around the whole back. But it's so funny to me that like they made the back of it hollow and they didn't like put a covering over it or just like layered the same thing over it to kind of like, you know, make it look like it's not hollow. But they bothered to sculpt the back detail. I don't know. That's just kind of funny to me in a weird sort of way. I don't really know how to describe the way that that makes me feel. But again, it looks really good. And this is, oh, okay, so good. This actually will confirm this or not. Some people seem to be under the impression that the GRANDISTA Gohan is reused from the Goku, but it isn't. The belt is different. The blue shirt sits above the orange on the neck, and the rest of the folds are different too. The legs are different as well. Okay, so let's take a in-depth look at this here. So yes, that kind of goes down right there. It looks very similar, but it is definitely different. You can also see the folds and creases on Gohan's gi compared to Goku's gi are definitely different in the way that they fold. This also looks like a deeper V cut, but Baggy is definitely right that there is a lot more reach around, right? And it like goes around the whole back of his neck rather than Goku's kind of just ends, right? It's definitely a little bit different. You can also tell too because Gohan's gi looks a little bit slimmer, whereas Goku looks a little bit more baggy. Haha, funny, I know. But it looks a little bit more baggy where it's kind of like puffing out around the belt. And the pants are definitely a little bit more different. So that's good. I will still be curious to see if there's a head swap available for this though. Again, I don't have the Super Saiyan Goku or the Super Saiyan Vegeta. Not that we'd be testing with Vegeta anyway. I have the base form Goku. But the base form Goku body is the same as the Super Saiyan one. So I guess it doesn't really matter on that one. Alright, cool though. Glad to know. And I mean, the most obvious difference as well too should be the fact that Goku's gi is a little bit more ripped up and battle damaged, whereas Gohan's is obviously a little bit more clean cut. Also interesting to notice too with the face, there's a lot of sculpted in detail, but I feel like Goku's eyes are more sculpted than they are like on Gohan's, where they're kind of like a sticker almost. Very interesting to see how that'll look on the final figure, but good stuff nonetheless. Here is the Clear Eyes Vegeta again with the high quality images. This guy again looks really good. Great surprise, the sculpt looks great and the gimmick works on him better than Goku. Yes, I agree. About 18 to 19 centimeters. Interesting. Alright. Very cool stuff. Okay, so I will kind of skip over this section here. Obviously, we sort of talked about this whole debacle with the Banpresto World Figure Coliseum Gogeta situation, where they basically changed the figure. I did a whole video on this a little bit earlier this month. I will, of course, leave a link to that at the end of this video in the end cards. If I remember, I will also put it like a little pop-up right here, because that would literally be like another full half an hour on this video, and this video is already going to be long enough. So if you want to hear the full situation on this, because I know most of you are probably like, what situation? This looks like a bunch of Gogeta figures. They changed it from the sculptor's original sculpt, which, keep in mind, this is supposed to be the World Figure Coliseum, which means that the sculptor sculpts it as a competition, and they remade the figure. So I give every single detail that you could ever want, why it matters, all that stuff in that video, so go check that out if you're interested, because I don't want to spend all the time on it in this video. Let's keep on going though. We have the breaking news overseas re-release for the very, very exciting Super Master Stars Dimensions, I believe is what the name of that line is, and the the Resolution of Soldiers Trunks. The Resolution of Soldiers line is a fantastic line that really, I think, kind of kicked off Dragon Ball prize figures again, at least in my opinion. I don't know. The figures are really great, though. I am planning on picking up all of them at some point. I believe I have pre-ordered this Trunks. I need to get the Vegeta. He's available on Amazon, like, literally right now, so I'll pick him up eventually. But so excited that these figures are getting released, and especially this guy, because this not only is a really hard to come by and kind of rare figure nowadays, he is also just really cool because, of course, he's a little bit more unique in terms of the base, and sculpt with the battle damage is also nice. Blue shirt Goku is also always a treat to get to. So yeah, very excited about that re-releasing. I have also already pre-ordered this. This was also one of the statues, or one of the colors of this. It might not have been this specific color. Came with, I believe it was like the super deluxe version of Fighters, if memory serves. Because I remember this guy coming out with that. Or it was another Dragon Ball game in like the last couple of years, something along those lines. Anyhow, also figured I mentioned this just because it was kind of funny that it almost does kind of look like Vegeta's new form with the little black lines around the eyes. I don't know. You could definitely do something with the aura with that, I feel like. Anyhow, we have the actual heights for all of these guys. Gohan being 28 centimeters is obviously not surprising considering the GRANDISTA line is always bigger. Goku's going to be 13. He's a little bit small. And Vegeta at 19 centimeters, which isn't anything to scoff at, all things considered. So it'll be interesting to see how he compares to the GRANDISTA line. It's always interesting seeing these figures that are kind of more like a static pose compared to the GRANDISTA line. Again, I apologize for not taking too much time on this video, but basically, I'll throw the pictures in here at least to show you what the figures look like if you're not going to go watch the video, because I understand, because it is a little bit of a hairy situation, but I definitely recommend watching it because it's important for the figure collecting community. Anyway, Super Master Stars Dimension has the same production code as the original, so the windowed box packaging will be present, which is awesome. Yeah, also very important to look at that video because it could literally be lying and like false information, and maybe they could get sued for that. I don't know. Anyhow, let's move past all of that for now. We have multiple angles from the Back to the Film Ichiban Kuji. I know everyone and their mother has been looking forward to this Broly, like I mentioned when we pulled them up on the Big Bad Toy Store before. And oh my gosh, this still looked fantastic. Again, we don't have mega HD pictures of this guy yet, but always nice to see some alternate angles of figures before they release. I really like the scar on the arm as well. And the back also looks absolutely insane. He almost looks like a dinosaur from, I almost said Back to the Future. That's not correct. From Jurassic Park. Those back muscles, my gosh, they look like lungs, bro. He grew his second pair of lungs with all the screaming he do. That's wild. But yeah, figure looks fantastic. I really like the way that Ba's ear turned out. It is also very, very awesome to see a King Cluster Broly figure in a more unique pose than them literally just having him stand there and then have his arms in different positions. Always good stuff. We also have the other angles of these guys as well. I am still contemplating getting this Vegeta as well. I don't know if I want to, just because, like, I don't know. It's cool, but, like, I don't know if I need it. You know what I mean? Like the clear eyes Vegeta, like I'm gonna need that though. But still very cool nonetheless. Obviously, this is from the scene when he's about to blast Broly. There's also the Str Vegeta and Dokkan that is based off this pose. Looks really great, though. This is definitely a solid figure, and if it ends up looking as good as these production images, I can highly recommend getting this guy for sure. There also aren't that many God Vegeta figures. I think there's only like 2 that exist at the moment. We have the boy Brew Broly. Yep, that's what I meant to say. Blue Broly. Also very excited for this guy because obviously this is a really cool look for Z Broly, and we literally never get this as a figure, so also very excited to be able to cop that. We have Frieza and Cooler here. Again, both of these figures look really great. I do think the Frieza's face looks like a tiny bit off, but the nice thing about Cooler is because he wears the mask, it is a little bit harder to get his face wrong. It does look like almost a little bit more cartoony, if I do say so myself. I don't know if I'll pick this guy up just because I already have the Figure Arts Zero Cooler, and I really like that figure a lot. But this guy would be pretty cool to cop, I'm not gonna lie. But he is gonna be as expensive as, or well, I guess like $5 less than the King Cluster Broly. And that guy's like 50 because he is an extra Kuji figure, which also means he's gonna be a little bit bigger. I don't know, though. I will say, like, the sculpted detail, the little bit of shininess on the lighter blue parts, and honestly, the shoulder pads is what's really getting me for this. Oh, I don't know why the gap on those shoulder pads being so high is kind of got me feeling some type of way, but it's kind of got me feeling some type of way, bro. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks cool. Nonetheless, again, even if I don't decide to get these guys, I would still highly recommend this set. If you are interested in these characters, of course. We have the boy Gogeta, which again, like another Gogeta figure, I don't really think that we needed, but I mean, it looks good, obviously. This guy could kind of compare, I suppose. Well, no, well, we'll have to see how tall they end up being. It'll be interesting to see this guy next to the Grandista Gogeta. We don't have a Grandista, like, Z movie Gogeta, which, funny enough, this guy is literally in the staple Grandista pose, so I don't think that they'll make a Grandista one if they're literally gonna have this exist. So I guess this figure would probably fit that unless you wanted to paint the Broly movie one, but I digress. Still looks good anyway. And then of course we have the Super Saiyan Broly. I do like that they actually did take the time to put the detail of the scar on his chest, because of course this is when Broly returns after getting defeated in the first movie. Very cool though. Again, I'm sure that, ooh, it actually sculpted in the back too. That's nice. I really like the shading actually on the pants and the cloak. I didn't even really notice that the first time around. Look at the like intricate shading detail there. That's like a little bit of shadows, but there's also some line work. You can kind of see it a little bit better on here because there's, you know, white here to kind of look at it. Oh, maybe not. Maybe that is just shadows because this is very barren on the front. Oh, shadows are really detailed then if that's the case. Interesting. Nonetheless, though, a very great looking figure. I doubt that as many people will want this guy, though, simply because the blue one exists. But only time will tell, I suppose. Alright, Europe confirmed, so we should have the US confirmed pretty soon for this guy. Again, like I mentioned, you can pre-order them on Big Bad Toy Store, which I guess we will actually take a look at it now since this guy is available for up on Big Bad Toy Store. I told you guys that we'd be taking a look at this tab right here, which basically I just want to let you know that all of these guys are now available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. Of course, there are other places where you can get these figures, but Big Bad Toy Store is definitely not a bad place to get them all, and very reputable. Big Bad Toy Store, I've used them before, and they've been in the game for so long now. Funny enough, they advertise on the sidebar of literally like every single DBZ figures post, so definitely a good place to pre-order figures. Moving on up, again, we already talked about that in the Gogeta video. Go check that out if you haven't. Grandista Gohan to release mid-October in Japan, and the other two late October. Nice. I'm excited for that Gohan, man. I really am. High quality pictures. Oh, we do have high quality pictures. Okay. Wow. All right. I am very excited to see these actually, because now we get to take a better look at the intricate sculpted detail of this. Wow. Look at that. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen. That is awesome. I really, really like the detail in the scarring. It looks so good. Look at the fades. Oh my gosh. This is one of those figures, right? Like, there's some figures that I take a look at. Oh my gosh, the back looks even better. And I'm like, those are cool, but I don't really mind, I guess, if Bandai ends up screwing it up at the end of the day. But this is one of those figures where I'm like, I need Bandai to come through for the one time, bro. If you give me anything in this life, bro, in this mortal coil, give me this Broly figure that looks exactly like this, please. Please, I'm begging you, bro. Look at the crease as well between his chest and the abs. Wow, you could not see that as well from this angle. I'm glad they provided some more. Baggy is also right. Ba's ear looks fantastic, and I love the way that it is sort of flowing in the wind. That looks awesome. I'm joking, it's so good. Yeah, the sculpted detail is great. I believe the most sculpted Ba ear that we have on a figure, I think, is the Ichiban Kuji Super Saiyan one, from way closer to when the Broly movie released. So very exciting that we are going to be getting that too. I know a ton of people are really excited for this guy, so definitely hype in the chat, boys. Here are the differences between the boys. We did kind of take a look at this already, but we can just go up and down real quick. Blue Broly, yellow Broly, blue Broly, yellow Broly. I will say his jewelry looks almost a little bit brighter. Interesting. I didn't even notice that this one doesn't have the headband. That makes sense for the movie, obviously, but interesting. Here is the boy Vegeta again. Looks very, very good, if I do say so myself. This is a solid Vegeta figure for sure. Obviously, this is iconic moment. Yes, an iconic moment from the Broly movie. So cool that he ended up looking good. And speaking of cooler, again, this figure also looks really, really good. Interesting that they did decide to go with all static poses besides Broly. Like, that is the one thing about this Kuji that is really weird to me. Like, I guess these aren't as static. They're still more static than, like, you know, this, obviously. But it's just interesting to me that, like, for Frieza and Cooler, they went with some pretty basic stuff. I guess what this is supposed to be is, like, right when the mask goes on. Because at least with Frieza, like, when he's doing the hand pose, he does do that right when he goes golden. I guess this is supposed to be right when the mask comes on. He does hit this pose, so I guess that makes a little bit more sense. Releases are standard for everyone, no overseas Ben Presto special selection. Excuse me. Nice. All right, deadline for distributors for October prize figures seems to be the end of June, so earliest November prize figures will be revealed is in a month. That was also on the 2nd, by the way. So it'll be interesting to see what some of these figures end up looking like. Seeing the Clear Eyes Vegeta now, I am actually really excited to see what the Clear Eyes Vegito ends up looking like. I know that the Saiyan fusions, especially Gogeta, have been over commercialized like to no end by this point, but I'm hoping that this figure still looks good. I'm really, really hoping, considering the Clear Eyes line has been a nice change of pace. It's still weird to me that they're doing Revival of F and then they're doing Vegito. Like, unless they're doing Revival of F Vegito What If, which would be cool, but I don't think that's going to happen. Anyhow, though, very excited to see what the rest of these figures end up being. Again, GX Materia is also going to be exciting, what Goku they choose for that. All right, from GE... coming soon, father and son, orange gi pin. That is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Interesting that they chose both of them in the orange gi. I don't think I've ever seen merch of them both in the orange gi, actually. Gohan's face looks a lot better than Goku's, if I have to say so, too. I think the eyes are too square, I guess. But it doesn't look bad, for sure. Clean production images. This guy, again, we won't spend too much time on it, but looks really good. Very excited to get the figure for sure. And this is another thing that I wanted to make sure got covered in the video, so I'm glad that it did. ROS re-releases of Vegeta, Goku, and Gohan were all Ben Presto Special Selection. My Trunks isn't. Kinda weird, which is all 4 of these guys. But it just leaves these 2 to be re-released from the Resolution of Soldiers line. These figures are absolutely fantastic, and I do kind of agree with Baggy here, actually. I am an absolute fanboy of the Grandista line, but I do have to say it was kind of a pointless decision to sort of combine the two lines, because we still could have gotten great figures like this. And the Grandista figures don't really do any of these like minor posing things like the Resolution of Soldiers line does. Funny enough, Hercule is in like the regular Grandista pose nowadays, but I still love this line. Obviously it's fantastic. All these figures look great. Again, I'm gonna have to pick up these three. I have this guy in the like black version, funny enough, which this art is also based off of the Tech LR Goku. But future Gohan is a figure? Say less, bro. And also a cool looking Hercule? Like, who's ever heard of that? I don't know. Insane, bro. Alright, June Tokyo store numbers. Gotenks 46, Trunks 25, Android 20. Whoa, Android. I almost said Android 21. Android 18, 53. Holy cow. Goku 40, item collection 70. For comparison, Kimitsu, by the way, that's Demon Slayer, numbers are all over 100. Wow. That is kind of unfortunate to see that. Have a separate release for Trunks backfired. I did expect 18 to get more, but not significantly more. Yeah, 18's getting 53 compared to Trunks' 25. That is over half. That is insane. Cannot believe that, especially considering these are matchmakers figures, and the whole point of the matchmakers line is they're supposed to match. It's in the name, you know what I mean? Yeah, kind of crazy though. The Demon Slayer is getting over 100, but I mean, Demon Slayer is popping off in Japan right now, so you know. And hectic few days for merch at least, but that's done for the month. Now the November DBHQ may or may not be getting revealed this month. Thank you, Baggy, as well, for all of your hard work. I don't know if I say that enough in these videos, so always thank you, my boy. For those wondering, main Grandista only gets additional parts if the size is below 27 centimeters. Gohan is 28, so hence the no Super Saiyan alternative. I don't necessarily think that that is a bad thing, to be honest. Because obviously, you know, whenever we get a like alternate headpiece, it is a cool time. But for Gohan, I think that the adult Gohan in Super Saiyan is nowhere near iconic, especially in this outfit, as the regular Super Saiyan is, right? Funny enough, someone down here actually did mention he could see them making a Nero version with the Saiyaman outfit as a Super Saiyan, which I would like, but Baggy actually does make a good point here. Scared they're going to make a Super Saiyan head, change the expression, and charge 40 bucks. Yeah, because unfortunately the Nero figures have been ridiculous. I don't know how this happened, considering Super Saiyan 3 Goku almost has a whole nother figure attached to his cranium with all the hair that he has. And yet we have the Omen Goku, which just has a blue shirt. And we have Super Saiyan Gogeta, which is literally just a Super Saiyan head of the blue one. And they're like 40 bucks instead of 20. I don't get it, bro. I don't understand Bandai sometimes. Anyway, and this is also very, very exciting as well. Now, obviously, with everything that we've been talking about, I think it was kind of expected. But back to the film, confirmed release for the US. I know a lot of folks were desperately looking for it. Everything is 36, except for Broly is 50 and Cooler is 45. This makes sense because obviously the standard Ichiban Kuji prices nowadays are 36 bucks a pop. It also makes sense because, of course, King Cluster has always been a $50 price tag, and these extra figures, because usually Kujis have 5 figures in them, these guys kind of don't count because they're like together. Also adorable, they're holding hands. But also this guy's going to be bigger too, despite, you know, the way the production images look. So makes sense that he's going to be 45 bucks. You gotta have some good detail on him though for 45 smackers. Alrighty. Also coming in September, third wave of Dragon Evolve. Trunks, Gogeta, and Omen, which obviously is Goku. At least the packaging on the art should be good. Now these figures, I will say, like, Gogeta does look a little bit stinky. Goku also looks kind of stinky, but these aren't the worst figures that I've seen. I've seen these Dragon Ball Evolve figures in stores before. For like little minifigure action figures, I think they're 10 bucks a pop if memory serves, which for this quality, and if it's just an action figure that you're not like planning on collecting and it's more of a, you know, like action figure type of thing, I don't think it's so bad. They're definitely a lot better than the Shoto figures that were like 8 bucks and they were like half the size of these guys. So Again, not really something I'm interested in. I would maybe be interested in getting one just to own it from the line and then saying that I did and being able to review it. But clearly that the sculpt cuts at his knee should tell you that this is not a figure really meant for displaying on the shelf, especially with how his knees are. Funny enough, Trunks is kind of melts in the best, but that's just because it's black. Not bad, though, in terms of this specific quality of this line of figures. So with all the recent reveals, what's everyone getting? Yes, I'm excited to get literally all of this, actually. Alright, this was also exciting to see. This guy finally dropped in Japan. We took a look at the final image of him last week. The Dragon Ball Legends collab Gotenks. Look at all those boys. Looks cool. Obviously, since these figures are prize figures, they come in a crane machine in Japan. So what's cool is that in Japan, you could actually technically get these guys for like a couple yen with just a couple tries at the machine. But if you're stinky at the machine, then you're going to get them priced higher technically than you would if you just imported them. So nonetheless, looks pretty cool if I do say so myself, seeing all these guys here. I would love to be able to get one of these posters. Obviously, the poster in the background you can see is, you know, the Gotenks art from the box. And also very cool that they actually went with a little bit of Legends art styling with the little black swish, because a lot of Legends card art does that, which is super cool. I'm glad the box says Legends. Still weird that it says the Dragon Ball Super logo up there, but hey, what are you going to do? Here's the poster, by the way. This is what I'm saying, bro. I would absolutely love to get this. This would be such a cool thing to hang on the wall. I only have one of these posters because I got it for free at my mall. I'll tell that story in another video because it's too long for this one. But it was not for anything too spectacular, unfortunately. But nonetheless, our boy still looks great. Why did they tape his feet down? That's weird. Okay. Anyhow. Yeah, looks good, if I do say so myself. I love this angle especially. Looks really great. Cannot wait to get my hands on this guy. The Dragon Ball Legends collab line has literally not let us down yet. I think maybe except for the yellow Future Gohan, and that figure wasn't even really that bad. There's just some minor issues with it. Estimated package sizing for all of these boys. Obviously, it makes sense that Broly's box is going to be stupid huge because, of course, well, I mean, the figures from the King Cluster line kind of always have been really big. Well. All of Europe is back for Ichiban show. US is still getting them. Guessing completely ignore this post now. Oof. Yeah, he was just talking about here that basically they're going to be phased out in other countries. GRANDISTA Gohan clean production images. First pick is the accurate one with the colors. Something weird is going on with these production images with the colors since last month. Yeah, that is a little bit weird. I think it might just be like the lighting or the type of camera that they're using. I don't know, because I was talking about like how sometimes just lighting can make all the difference for these guys. This person also kind of notes here that these photos are probably just added on different monitors, so colors got adjusted differently and looks like that. That would also not surprise me, but again, looks really good. Oh my, okay, Dragon Stars Battle Pack, Trunks and Zamasu. Why does Trunks, can he not stand with the sword without that foot piece? Is that what's happening here? I am not the biggest fan of the Dragon Stars line. I literally only own one, which is Janemba, because we don't have a good Janemba figure. High quality images. $42 for the set? Wow. Yikes, bro. Oh, man. I mean, technically these guys are worth like 20 bucks a pop, so I suppose that it makes sense that they would be that much with all the accessories, but like, save your money on these, bro. I've never really liked the Dragon Stars line personally. I think it's just sort of like trying to cash in on posable figures while making them as low quality as possible while jacking up the price. Honestly, like, if you really want like a low price posable figure, just get a model kit, get one of the figurized figures, and the faces still look good on them too. Like, I don't know, man. Dragon Stars is always just so frustrating every time I look at it. Anyhow, we've had a Super Vegeta, a Vegeta Blue, and a Gogeta Blue, and 2 Gogeta 4s so far this year, but it was Mr. Gotenks that got the better orders in Japan. Let's go! Hopefully Clear Eyes, Vegeta, and Gogeta. Oh, I hope they don't do bad. bad, but that should put an end to commercialism of the Goku Vegeta fusion finally. Yeah, at this point, I don't really think we need any more Gogeta figures. I think we're satisfied. I can agree with that. I definitely don't hope it does bad. I mean, I guess that's the only way for Bandai to know, hey, stop. But, y'all know I tend to be a little bit more positive about these things. The restock, that means Sega Game Stations ordered 378 cases of this Demon Slayer set. In total, just one of this FES set. That is crazy. Especially when you factor in that Demon Slayer wasn't even a thing when DBS first aired. Yeah, that's crazy. Very crazy indeed. Alright, with how not random most releases are, what if Super Master Stars Dimension releasing means a third one is planned in 2021? If so, I hope for a father-son Kamehameha by Nakazawa again. And since Provy is a super rare plus... by Nakazawa again, Provy one, I don't actually know what that means. Is super rare, plus the second Super Master Stars Dimension one was Father Son GG Gallic Gun. And different angles of the figure. Looks good. I really, really like the base. I'm gonna actually ask, what does Provy mean? Hold on. Provy? Also remind me what was the second SMSD. Perfect. Alright. Hopefully that'll be in the next figure news video, and I'll give you guys a little update on that. Nonetheless, though, base looks fantastic. Figure looks fantastic. This guy is a spectacular piece that I definitely recommend anybody adding to their collection. I believe he's pretty big, too. Like, maybe Master Stars, Super Master Stars piece size, I believe, because obviously it's a Super Master Stars Dimensions figure. So... definitely a fantastic figure, though, for y'all to add to your collection. I cannot wait to review them. Alrighty, moving on. This was pretty interesting. So, looks like Takanada improved on their base heel issue. Hope if there is a brand new World Figure Coliseum, they are invited as a desk. We want to see what they do with no restrictions. Yeah, me too. Basically, talking about how the heel was a little bit goofy on their feet, and they've actually been working on fixing it. This is also a cool comparison too. If you are familiar, this is a older base form Gotenks figure. This is actually a figure that I would like to pick up at some point in the future. And funny enough, this is that clear acrylic Dragon Ball Z stand that we've taken a look at so many times in these figure videos. Very interesting to see the differences between these guys. Obviously, the Gotenks' arms on the base form one are a lot less thick than the Super Saiyan one, which, like, I don't think that that's the intention, but I suppose canonically that makes sense. Interestingly as well, that it almost seems like his chest is wider and his body is a little bit wider on the base form one compared to the Super Saiyan one, which seems a little bit more thinner, or maybe it's just like the chest is a little bit more thinner. I don't know. Interesting. You can also see the definite like stylization of the faces on these two too. But both of these guys are great figures. Coloring is a little bit different on each, but I like them both. I actually think I had the opportunity to buy this one a very, very long time ago before I started collecting. Excuse me, hydrated, of course. But I decided to pass up on it because I wasn't really as interested in the time. Now, though, I would have probably bought it on the spot. Anyway... let's keep on keeping on here. I do believe, by the way, the name of that figure is the Master Stars Piece one, not the Super Master Stars Piece, if memory serves. Looks like overseas versions will be ready by October 10th, so be looking at December release for the West. Wow, that early? That's pretty good, I will say. For like an October release? Shoot, that's pretty good. Demon Slayer gets an all-demon prize line. My Hero gets an all-villain prize line. DB gets another all-Goku prize line. Yeah, I don't know, man. It would be really cool if we could get some other figures like this. I know that they have been milking Goku for a fat minute now, and I love the boy. I have so many figures of the boy, but, like, man, I would absolutely love it if we could get some more figures. Look at this man, bro. I believe this was from... yeah, obviously you can see in the background there, Ben Presser World Figure Coliseum. I hope that a wider variety of Son Goku could become a figure for the market. Well, there you go. I do hope that we end up getting some other figures, most of them of these other characters someday. That is another reason why I'm so excited for the what is that figure called? The Final Scratch, or is it just called the Scratch Frieza? BSS Final Flash Vegeta finally out now for Asia. Like Kintun Goku, the Japanese section, the original release has been completely removed, and the title changed to it now just Final Flash, but the font styling is kept. Well, at least they kept the styling. I really like this figure, though. It is a really, really fun figure. Definitely one that I have not seen a lot of people talk about, but it's cool. I highly recommend it if you don't have it. One of my first reviews on the channel, too, actually. Alrighty. Let's take a look at the end here, because I believe we are approaching the end. So a little bit of a note on this. This is also something good to note, because this is what I was talking about with the color scheme difference on these. If we had gotten the original, the left, or even the brush to the right coloring, I think it would have been a no-brainer to re-release, or to get the re-release, unless I can find a really good deal on the brush re-release, probably pass on it. Yes, because this guy has 4 different color variations. Let me see if I can actually pull that up for you while I keep this on the screen. But as you can see, right, the color difference with this guy is apparent, not only in simply the gi, right? Obviously, this is kind of more manga accurate colors, I guess you would say. Whereas the one that we were looking at before was kind of more like the anime color scheme, I guess you would call it. Yes, so actually I was able to find it right away. This is a great website, by the way. If you search in any figure, you can find it. And actually, this is what I was wondering about, was the other one. This one, right. Okay. So, this is what Baggy was talking about here. This figure got a ton of different color variations throughout the years. I know this isn't as relevant to the news, I suppose, but since we're talking about this figure, I'm going to put it in here anyway. This is the Fighters one. Okay, so they included the Manga Dimensions, basically, version of this guy, and it obviously has the Fighters logo. This thing has probably got to be really expensive. I've not checked up on the price of this in a while. But as you can see here, we have a bunch of different color variations. Wow, I've actually never seen this one before. This one must be some kind of event exclusive, or a super rare one. I don't think I've actually ever seen this before. There are no production images of it either. It's literally just like the actual figure. Interesting. Yeah, definitely have literally never seen this one before, but that is really cool. I like the color scheme a lot. Don't know how much that would be either. Crazy prices. But anyhow, this is what I actually wanted to show you, right? So we have the 4 different color schemes here. I wish this image was a little bit higher quality. But you can see that obviously it is the purple text, which is the one that we're getting re-released, which is more like anime accurate colors, I guess. The middle one, which I'm not exactly sure, like, I think it's just kind of an in-between, I guess, if I had to say, because the third one is obviously manga accurate, and then of course black and white. So it would be cool. Oh, by the way, I messed up the name. It's not Dimensions. It's Diorama, which makes sense because obviously, you know, look at it. It's a diorama a little bit. So hopefully, in the future, we could get the other colors re-released of this guy. That would be awesome if we're able to get that someday. I am probably still going to pick up the release. Well, probably I already pre-ordered it. But just because I don't have any version of this figure, and if they do release it, maybe I'll just sell the anime color one that I have. But I think they all look cool. Obviously, you always kind of want the manga color version when it comes to Goku, because I think it just looks a little bit better. IMO, anyway. But nonetheless, rant over, or a little informational segment over, I suppose. I do like as well that they kind of make the clouds a different color, the dragon a different color, but also the effect part a different color, which is really cool, because that's something that they really don't have to do, right? Like the blue, the yellow, and orange, and then just pure yellow here. But they do it anyway, which I like a lot. Definitely want to see if I can get that Fighters one, though, someday. Anyhow, moving on up, the Legends collab Gotenks might be a sleeper for one of the best figures of the year. Although I don't mind Gotenks, not interested in figures for him. Sadly, Gogeta has killed the memento of the Metamor infusions for him. Yeah. Looks good, though. Again, we've taken a couple of looks at this guy's final pictures, so not going to take too much of an in-detailed look, but looks good. I like the figure a lot. Cannot wait to get my copy. Alrighty. We had this guy. Funny enough, this was actually a figure I was complaining about earlier. This is the Dragon Ball Heroes Blue Gogeta. Reduced to $30 on Amazon US, if anyone was interested, but not for the full 36. It's a good figure. Again, I don't really need it because I have plenty of Blue Gogetas already. But definitely for 30 bucks, not a bad price if you're interested in it. Alrighty. October History Box Volume 2 production images were taken in February. Interesting. Gohan, for comparison, the Grandista one, by the way, was taken in May. So I wonder if that means it was a planned to release earlier. Interesting. You can tell this, by the way, if you look at an image, you can see like what camera it was taken on, what date it was taken on. It kind of depends on if someone messed with the data on it, but a lot of the times that's still on every image. So interesting, though. Wonder if that was scheduled for earlier then. My bad, I completely missed the April FES updated production images, which would have indicated that the hair and pose change in the final. Then again, it's Gogeta, so can you blame me? Yeah. We talked about this already, that this figure ended up not actually looking like the final product, but I guess we would have been able to tell that, like Baggy was saying, because these updated production images look more like this figure at the end of the day. Also, GT Trunks had some that ended up looking like his actual final designs. Hey, there's me. Yeah, so this was also pretty cool. Premium Cardass out now for Asia. Pick from M Credit Toys. Some great new art in this set. I like that Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Y'all know I'm a fan of the man. That is cool. I like that Goku as well. Interesting that he's in that green color. I've never really seen it like that. Wonder if the August Solid Edgeworks Trunks wasn't selling that well in Asia, which is why the ROS is a standard re-release instead of a BSS like the other Resolution of Soldier. Excuse me. I suspect that many people won't bother with Solid Edgeworks now. The face is unusual, shall we say. Yeah. We've seen this figure, talked about it a couple of times as well, and yeah. Well, apparently the sculptor is new, so don't want to be too mean. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Goku is still sculpted better, though, even though he turned out really stinky. October, oh, okay, so this is in euros. That's cool. Van Presto, World Figure Coliseum gone up by 10 bucks again. No one definitely buying this now. Grandistas are reduced, and the CR is staying at 40. Why? Yeah, no idea, bro. Crazy that they decided to do a lot of these shenanigans with the prices. I don't know, man. I've come to accept that the prices are never a stale thing at this point. Although it's correct, May FES out now in the UK. Huh, interesting. Definitely going to have to pick this guy up again. I really, really like that Goku figure. I would love to be able to review him. Look inside the Eric 2021-2022 DBS Diary. I believe that Chibi Blue Goku is unseen. Interesting. Okay, so I feel like we've seen some of these before. That Beerus is a little bit awkward looking, though. Piccolo looks good. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that Blue Goku. That's cool, though. 12 bucks is too much for a risk to see if there's any more underused promo art. Yeah. The stickers are cool, though. Definitely not a bad little thing if you're into that sort of thing. It's almost 2022 calendar time. Tentative calendars are usuals. Eric Trends Inc. Let's hope we get some good underused promo art this year. Yeah, let's hope so. We've gotten some good stuff in the past, so I'm hoping that we get some good looking stuff. That's a great render of Goku and Vegeta there. Hold on, go back to that, bro. Oh my gosh, that's sick. Nice. Okay, high quality, clean production images for this man. Reminder that has a higher RRP than Grandista Gohan in Europe, which is ridiculous. Don't understand. Don't understand that at all. So weird. April Prize figures releasing now for Australia and soon for India, including FES 12, holdover March, no holdovers from April. Ah, yes. So this was kind of a little bit of a unfortunate thing that I saw pop up on my TL. This is the chest for the Clear Eyes Vegeta. I didn't even really notice this because obviously I'm not really zooming in on the kanji there. But as you can see, Baggy notes that it does appear like this is actually a sticker, which... that will knock this Vegeta down a couple pegs for me. Again, I really, really like the sculpt. But the fact that they're going to be doing stickers for these and not just printing them on is a clear sign of not really caring about the quality of their product and not really caring about their customers, right? A lot of people are complaining about this, which literally does not bode well for this figure and for the future of Dragon Ball figures. Because if they keep doing this, your boy might have to, I don't know, just like not collect figures that have this sort of thing, which hopefully they don't start doing this with like Kuji and stuff. Like, prize figures are one thing because they're only 20 bucks, which I still don't think is warranted for this to be the case. If they start doing it with those really expensive figures, I am going to throw a fit. If I wanted to put stickers on a figure and have it be expensive, I just buy a model kit or something like that, right? And I don't even mean Figure-Eyes, because Figure-Eyes are pretty decently priced. I'm looking at my Figure-Eyes MUI Goku on my desk as I'm saying this. Man, please don't go down this road, Bandai. Please, bro, I'm begging you. Alright, anyhow, we keep on keeping on here. Very nice art for this Dragon Ball Z set here. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. This gimmick is kind of weird. I actually agree. Very, very interesting that this guy is fully clear. Like I was saying with the Vegeta figure, it kind of implied that the rest of his body was clear. And as you can see with the light shining in the background, this is the most odd production image I think I've ever seen, with like a sun shining in the background, or like promo image, whatever you want to call it. The rest of the body is a little bit see-through. Mostly the legs. You can see that the feet are too, because there's a light shining through it. This was more like, I don't want to call this light piping, because light piping is more like a tunnel for the light to go through, where like there's a section on the back where you shine a light through and then the eyes glow or something like that. But this is like, I don't even know really what to call this, because the gimmick is that you shine a light through it, but it's just like clear plastic. I don't know, man. Very interesting. Gonna be interesting to see how the final figure on this looks. I am still debating on getting Goku. The face sculpt doesn't look as good as like the original production image, which, how many times have I said that in this video alone? You would probably fall over, is what I meant to say. I was gonna say cronk over and fall over at the same time. It didn't work out. As a drinking game, bro. How many times I've said the production image looks better? Wild. I might still get it just to pair with Vegeta. I don't know. We'll see. But nonetheless, very interesting gimmick. Let me know what you guys think about this gimmick in the comments section below. Again, like, what? Nani? I don't understand, bro. Very weird gimmick for sure. Hopefully Vegeta ends up good, though. That's all I'm praying for, bro. Alrighty, Gashapon price increase, still going to reuse, of course. Yeah, they've been reusing a lot of these legs, unfortunately. You can see on all these Goku minifigures, they've been reusing this leg sculpt. Very, very unfortunate. And obviously, Gogeta's legs also reused. But again, we talked about that in the Gogeta video. July Japanese order / store numbers in a few weeks. This one is pretty straightforward to predict. Bulma should do the best, followed by Vegeta, Frieza, and then the Retsuden set. I am hoping that that Rose ends up being pretty good. Y'all know that on this channel we are not fans of the Retsuden set, but I will say the Future Trunks, Goku Black, the base one, and this Rose one have honestly not been that bad, all things considered. Jiren was obviously the best one out of the Retsuden line, so definitely not bad though, if I do say so myself. Also, again, this is the Frieza that I was talking about earlier. I'm actually excited to get that because I don't have that many Frieza figures. I would like some more. Cool that we're going to be getting that. Obviously, Blue Evo is exciting too. Alrighty, moving on up. Very excited to see the final production images, I'm sorry, the finals, there we go, of this guy. So excited that he ended up looking good. Obviously, this is the Matchmaker's Trunks that we have been looking forward to for a fat minute now. Really, really excited that they did not mess this guy up. Everybody was really hoping. This was one of those figures. I was talking about that mentality before with the Broly, where like you have one figure that you're praying to Lord Bandai that they don't mess it up, right? This is one of those figures, and boy, am I glad that they kept all of the detail, the shading, the sculpt work, all that good stuff on the figure. I cannot wait to pick this man up. I am so excited to review this figure. Oh my gosh, when I get this in my hands, bro, it might have to be like a review that day of. Crazy, bro. So glad that he ended up looking good, though. Hair is more orange than yellow, which he is absolutely thrilled about, which I kind of agree, actually. Also, the base was expected, although it does suck. Production images don't show bases anymore. Yeah, it would have been a little bit nicer with a clear base, obviously, or even like a little bit of a semi-clear base. But still, looks fantastic. And this is another figure sculpted by the homie Varroque or Varquo. I don't know how to pronounce it. But the man who sculpted not just the GX Materia Frieza that I reviewed recently, but a bunch of great Dragon Ball figures as well. So, makes sense why the figure turned out great. And I'm so glad that they never shaft his work. Because that would be very unfortunate. All right. Global Freaks has the Master Stars piece, Gohan Battle version, and the Super Saiyan Rose Grandista in stock. Yeah, I like this guy a lot too, actually. Look at Goku looking at that, man. That's kind of goofy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. After BOS finishes releasing, wouldn't mind if they started releasing the dramatic showcase line again. That had some under-commercialized characters and scenes. Yeah, definitely would not mind seeing this line return as well. These are some classic figures. It would be really cool to get a full Ginyu Force set. I remember seeing this figure a lot when I first started collecting. Honestly, out of all these, though, I'd probably be most excited for this guy because I would really like that as a figure. I still think this Gohan's face looks a little bit goofy, but Cell's not bad. Alrighty, moving on up. Oh yeah, this is really cool. I know that this is in Dragon Ball, but man, that is a really cool use of effects on some Kuji figures. Alright, 2021 Glitter and Glamour's Videl. They're going to have 22 for the A prize and 14 for the B prize. Makes sense. Overseas separate case of 36 each. Okay, so it's not going to matter for the States, but of course, most people are going to be interested in the green one because that is the actual color scheme, I believe. Yes, that is the actual color scheme for Videl. So makes sense why more people would be interested in that one than the other one. Yeah, this would also be really cool if they release this. Not really news, but still would be awesome if they did re-release that. If they do, oh my gosh, I'll be screaming on Twitter, bro. Alright, FES 15 Super Gogeta is doing better than FES 13 and Gogeta Blue in the US by an absolute mile. Not surprising, since I always felt that Western fans preferred the movie 12 Gogeta. I think at this point, everyone is absolutely sick of the blue one. Yeah. Even I have, like, an abundance of blue Gogeta figures. I have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them? Yeah, 4 of that man, which is absolutely insane. And I'm probably going to get the SH Figure Arts one at some point. So, unless they do a crazy Gogeta blue figure, I don't think I'll be getting any more. And even the 4th one that I have in my collection, I've thought about getting rid of it. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But these are starting to release in Asia, Japan now, which is obviously the wafer sticker figures. Very cool. Here's some IRL pictures of these guys. Obviously, looking in the boxes, or the bag is a little bit like, I don't know. Kind of doesn't give it the full look, I guess. I was trying to think of a specific word to, like, kind of drive my point home, but I couldn't think of a word. They look pretty good, though. Again, these figures always look a little bit goofy, but that's kind of the style that they're going for. So, I think that they look good. I think if I had to pick, probably Gohan, Kid Goku, the Dragon, and maybe MUI Goku look the best if I had to pick and choose there a little bit. Here's a full picture of that. Tanjo, by the way, looks fantastic. Alright, October release, specific weeks, Gohan week 3, Vegeta and Goku week 4. This lines up with what I posted last week, Gohan being mid-October and the others late October. Good stuff there. Ah, yes, this guy had 19 bucks on Amazon US. This is a good figure. I also have to review that at some point too. Alrighty. Oh, this is good news as well. Amazon has brought forward the July Kuji Ichiban show by 2 weeks. Now estimated to be an end of October release. This is obviously for the US. Very excited for that. I have all these guys pre-ordered on Amazon. I cannot wait for these, bro. Oh my gosh. Cannot wait. And this was also very cool. I'm glad that I caught this 17 minutes ago. Dokkan 6th Anniversary Ichiban show starting to release for the US. Here is the packaging. Looks really cool. Nice that they kept the Dokkan Battle logo on there. Makes sense considering the fact that Global exists, right? So cool to see that these guys are getting some pretty decent packaging. And I know for a fact that these guys are releasing in the US because if we actually, let me pop this over here, take a quick look, and this will be the last thing that we look at for today. I actually saw these guys in a store near me. If you are familiar with the store Box Lunch, Box Lunch is a fantastic store that sells Dragon Ball figures, typically in local malls and stuff like that. They actually had the figures. Unfortunately, I went to the mall an hour after they closed. Not the mall closed, the store closed, and the mall closed an hour after the store closed. So I couldn't get in to take a look at them firsthand, unfortunately, but I snuck a picture through the window. The people in there know me. I literally waved to the guy at the register, so it's fine. But, nonetheless, very cool to see these guys out in the wild, and it was actually pretty insane because I did call them today, and they were already sold out except for Goku Black, and the only one that they had of Goku Black was literally one left. So absolutely insane that these guys seem to be selling out. Makes sense because, of course, these are going to be really sought-after figures, not just because Dokkan is really big over here, but they're just really good figures and some underrepresented Dragon Ball characters as well. But hope you guys enjoyed today's figure news video. I am so excited for everything coming up. I am so excited for the Grandista Gohan, the History Box Volume 2 by Guys Goku. Let me know what figure you are the most excited for from this week's episode in the comment section below. As well, let me know what you think of the Clear Eyes gimmick, because again, I want to hear your thoughts on that, because it's a little bit of an anomaly, all things considered, in our great big Dragon Ball figure world. I will catch you guys in the next one, though. Thank you so much for watching. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.